We just heard from a licensed psychotherapist on the benefits of neurofeedback, a non-invasive therapy that helps rewire the brain. We're happy to be joined by a young lady who has personally benefited from this methodology. Let's welcome Aida Cabrera. Thank you for being here with us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
So you've had yourself multiple traumas throughout your life that have changed the way your outlook has been, the way you live your life. And you started neurofeedback not that long ago. Tell us the changes that you've noticed in the short amount of time.
I'm on my fourth treatment of neurofeedback. My last one was this past Friday. I started in March. Within a week of me starting my treatments, I noticed that my anxiety levels, my stress levels, my fight or flight symptoms that I carried every single day, and of course, insomnia as well that I suffered with, they all kind of shifted and, I almost to nil.
That's
Um,
incredible. That's incredible. And I
yeah.
want to talk about the treatments itself and what that is like from a patient standpoint. But you say that your smoking has also ceased because of the
Yes.
neurofeedback?
Yes, and that's something I've had so much problems, getting rid of. Obviously, it's a bad habit, and a lot of people have a lot of trouble, stop smoking.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to do that right after my first treatment, so I'm pretty happy about that.
That's wonderful to hear. You also said that you had an issue with sort of this doom and gloom outlook on life. And how long have you been living with this?
As for as long as I can remember, I
I'm
mean,
sorry.
most of my traumas were as a, young
Mm-hmm.
a child, and all my life I've been dealing with this fight or flight, always anxious, stomach, nausea,
Mm-hmm.
feeling like I don't know, I'm running to something or from something.
Yeah. And there's
So
triggers. So it may not be the same trauma that you're experiencing later in life, but there are certain triggers that bring back those feelings.
yes, stress can add to it. Maybe things that remind you of trauma, even unconsciously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you were a little skeptic because you've been going through therapy, you've had therapy, and you see a therapist pretty regularly, but then this neurofeedback came into the picture and you're a little bit skeptic. So what was your first appointment like? Can you tell us what they did and the changes that you started to
Well,
see?
yes. I was a little skeptic because I've been going through treatments, like, all my life, and I wasn't sure anything would really work for me. Um, but the first treatment, I went in with, an open mind,
Mm-hmm.
obviously,
Sure.
and was willing to try anything. And what they did is they asked me some questions about the things that I wanted to focus on for treatment. And a couple of the things I chose was anxiety,
Yeah.
stress, and
Did they hook you
it's
up to
just,
anything?
yes, they
Okay.
hooked me up to some sensors, and
Mm-hmm.
depending on what it was for my head and on the back of my neck. And then I was stimulated, I can't say the word, but auditory
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah.
and visually. So there were two types of treatments.
Interesting, because that's exactly what our psychotherapist was saying, is that you would see either imagery or a video or read something and they would measure the brain waves. So once
Correct.
they kind of figured out what your baseline was, then what did they start to do in order to change that to have a more positive outcome for you?
Well, it's kind of weird because they don't really do anything. So for me, I'm going to speak for me. The visual was colors that just changed into forms. And the machine knew if I wasn't paying attention or if my mind drifted somewhere else, it knew I wasn't paying attention, and it would send me signals like, hey, pay attention. And I
Oh,
would, refocus. It makes you refocus back on, what it's doing. And I think maybe I'm not the one running the test, but I think that's somehow how they retrain you to focus and, you know, shift your mind away from
Be-
maybe
because that's
things
what
that
our
are going,
minds do,
thoughts that are going
right?
through your head.
Our
Yes.
minds will just start to trail off, and we start to think of other things, and then that's where we get lost into those negative thoughts, and then that brings on the physical manifestation as well. With just about 20
Exactly.
seconds left, what advice do you have for people who should consider neurofeedback as a treatment for them?
I just think that you know, if you're looking to better your mental health, that you have to put your all into it. There's no magic pill. You know, you have to want to do better and, you know, take advantage of any type of treatment you can,
Yeah.
because there's nothing more important than mental health.
Yeah, you say that you have to put in the work.
Yes, correct.
So you are
Correct.
truly the master of your own destiny with the help
Yes,
of their neurofeedback. Well, Aida, thank
exactly.
you so much for sharing with us, for being so candid, and we're so happy to hear the positive outcome, and we do wish you success.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
We're
you.
back after this.